The 29th edition of the African Basketball Club Championships tip-off in Tunisia on Thursday, with Club Africain from the host nation taking on the Indian Ocean Islanders from the Miot. Current championships Primeiro de Agostinho from Angola will be making it to 3 in a row in the finals, but competition will be stiff with teams from Nigeria, Ivory Coast and Egypt also in the mix. And now we can speak to American basketball journalist Jeff Taylor. Jeff, so the Premier Club Basketball Championship tips off today. What should we expect from the tournament?
I think there's going to be a lot of excitement. You're going to see some different styles of play. You're going to see really one of the great clubs, maybe the greatest ever club from Africa, go out, Primeiro de Agosto, to go out and try to win a 9th title. So there's a lot of excitement about that. But there's also a lot of excitement in Tunisia with their three clubs that are going to be taking part. Because Tunisia has been on the basketball map a lot of late in the last few years. Some of their players going on to play in big leagues. So I think it's going to be really interesting. And I think also there's always an air of unpredictability when you get these teams together. Really, you can pretty much count on Primeiro de Agosto to be right there contending, but there are a lot of unknowns going into this event.
Which are the strongest teams taking part?
Well, without a doubt, Primeiro de Agosto, the defending champions, going for a 3rd title in a row, going for a 9th title, going back to 2002. They are the powerhouse on the continent. I think you could see some interesting performances from Club Africain, Étoile Sportive Rades, and US Monastir from Tunisia. They're going to be an interesting team to watch. Unlike perhaps the Angolans, who will really try to get out and beat you physically, these are teams that are going to really try to pass the ball, use a lot of time on the shot clock. And so that's, when we talk about a clash of styles, you'll see it when the Tunisians take on the Angolans. So overall, these would be the 4 teams that I find really interesting, as well as Sporting Alexandria from Egypt. They've got a former MVP of this event in their team, Makram Ben Rodam, another Tunisia international who's played at the Olympics.
Are there any standout players we should be looking out for?
I think without question, one of the standout players is going to be Felicio Ambrosio, who was injured and couldn't play at the FIBA Basketball World Cup for Angola. That was a real blow for them, but he'll be here with Primeiro de Agosto, as well as one of Angola's all-time greats, Joaquim Gomez. Gomez has been a real warrior. He played college basketball in America at Valparaiso in Indiana, and since coming back, he's played for Primeiro. He's played in Germany. He's played at a lot of big tournaments for his country. Armando Casto, yet another Angolan, who's going to be worth watching. I think that we're going to see probably a very excited Makram Ben Rodam, who played in Spain last year for Murcia. He's back playing in Africa. He's playing for Sporting Alexandria, and he is a tremendous talent, a former MVP of this event.
How much in recent years has the standard of basketball improved on the African continent?
I think the standard of African basketball on the African continent has probably stayed at a level plane. The Angolans, without question, have been a dominant force. And I think in North Africa, perhaps, you've seen some of the level of play go up. One of the challenges for all of the African countries is as they try to develop leagues, is how do you keep the top players in the country? Because when some of them get to a certain level, they may move on to play in Europe. So from that standpoint, you're combating an exodus of players. But overall, I think that we've had some good leagues in Africa, and I think that for that reason, that this tournament should be an interesting one to watch.
Finally, can you tell us why this tournament is so important to Tunisia?
Well, this is a hugely important event for Tunisia, where basketball has sort of been gathering momentum for the past several years, and especially since 2011 when they won the AfroBasket title to qualify for the Olympics. and their tremendous center, Salah Mejri, was an amazing, amazing player. He won the MVP of that event. In fact, Tunisia also played at the 2010 FIBA World Championship in Turkey. They did not qualify for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. They were upset by Egypt, back in 2013, last year. So that tells you also something about the dangers of some of those other North African nations and their club teams. Egypt is a team that's on the rise, and but for Tunisia, it's trying to get that momentum back, and especially in a year when you're going to host an AfroBasket, try to win that and to try to qualify for the Olympics.
Jeff, thank you for speaking to Sports News Africa.